What if I told you that every man who's ever been betrayed, manipulated, or emotionally destroyed by a woman wasn't just unlucky? He was a victim of forces neither of them understood. Freud spent decades uncovering the hidden programs buried deep within the female psyche. Instincts so powerful that even she isn't aware of them. Beneath her choices lies an unconscious script, one older than love itself, silently pulling her strings while she believes she's in control. Freud's private notes and forbidden letters reveal a terrifying truth. Women are often guided by unconscious forces beyond their own comprehension. They think they know why they love, why they leave, why they choose. But their biology, past imprints, and primal instincts make the decisions long before they are aware of them. And once you understand the secret programming, you'll begin to see through the illusions that most men fall victim to every single day. Imagine this. You meet a woman who seems different. Intelligent, self-aware, confident. She tells you exactly what she wants: loyalty, honesty, respect. You believe her, you give her everything. Then without warning, she leaves. No fights, no explanation, just cold silence. What happened? Freud would argue she didn't choose to leave. Her unconscious did. The part of her that operates beneath thought, beneath reason, beneath the story she tells herself about who she is. Freud's most radical idea wasn't about sex or childhood trauma. It was about the illusion of free will. He believed that 90% of human behavior is controlled by the unconscious, a vast shadow realm filled with repressed desires, primal instincts, and unprocessed memories. And when it comes to women, he believed this influence was even stronger. Her actions are often shaped less by logic and more by survival impulses written deep into her biology. In his 1925 paper, Some Psychical Consequences of the Anatomical Distinction Between the Sexes, Freud observed something shocking. He believed women develop a weaker superego, the moral conscience, compared to men. Why? Because their early psychological development is rooted more in shame than guilt. A man feels guilt, an internal punishment. A woman feels shame, an external judgment. This difference, Freud argued, makes her behavior governed more by social survival than fixed principles. One of Freud's earliest lessons came from a case that changed psychology forever. Anna O. She suffered from paralysis, hallucinations, and uncontrollable mood swings. Freud's mentor, Joseph Breuer, treated her using hypnosis, uncovering repressed memories linked to her father's illness. But the real twist came after she recovered. Anna O. turned on Breuer, accusing him of impregnating her, a false claim that nearly destroyed his career. Freud later realized something crucial about this case. Anna O.'s illness wasn't just a medical condition. It was a weapon, a subconscious tool to manipulate and control the men around her. This was Freud's first glimpse into what he would later call hysterical cognition, the female mind's ability to rewrite reality to protect emotional needs. Women, he concluded, often don't lie consciously. Instead, their unconscious rewires events to fit the narrative they need to believe. Freud's most dangerous discovery was the mother complex, the idea that a man's relationships with women are shaped by his earliest bond, his mother. Think about it. Did your mother punish you with silence when you displeased her? Did she reward you only when you obeyed? Did she make you feel guilty for wanting independence? If so, you were trained to confuse emotional manipulation with love, setting the stage for every future relationship. In The Dissolution of the Oedipus Complex, Freud explained that a boy must break free from his mother's control to become a man, but most never do. Instead, they spend their lives unconsciously seeking a woman who will either replicate their mother's dominance or punish them for trying to escape it. And here's the chilling part. Women aren't consciously aware of this pattern either. It's a script both sexes inherit, and almost no one escapes. Picture this, you're having dinner with her. She's laughing at your jokes, touching your arm, giving you that deep locked gaze that says, "I'm yours." You relax, you trust. 3 days later, she ghosts you. No fight, no warning, no reason. What changed? Nothing, because her decision wasn't made consciously. Freud suspected this, and now modern science confirms it. Women are not the purely rational, self-aware beings society paints them to be. They are influenced by ancient survival codes buried deep in the unconscious, an algorithm written in blood, hormones, and evolutionary instinct. She isn't faking her feelings. She's following programming older than civilization itself, a script designed to optimize survival, not fairness, love, or logic. Every man has heard the phrase, She's just more emotionally intelligent than you. But what you call emotional intelligence, Freud would call hypersensitivity to social dynamics. Women don't necessarily understand emotions better. They weaponize them faster. Freud described this as hysterical cognition, the mind's ability to distort facts, rewrite history, and alter memories to fit emotional needs. It's not manipulation in the conscious sense. It's instinct operating beneath awareness. Take Freud's famous Dora case. An 18-year-old girl was sent to him for depression and nervous coughing fits. Through analysis, Freud discovered her father was having an affair with a married woman, Frau K. To hide his tracks, Dora's father offered her as a distraction to Frau K's husband. But Dora didn't confront her father. She didn't rage at Frau K. Instead, she turned her fury on Freud, accusing him of misunderstanding her and abruptly quitting therapy. Years later, Dora returned, not for help but to mock Freud's methods. This led Freud to one of his most unsettling conclusions. A woman's pain rarely strikes where it should. If she can't punish the real offender, her unconscious selects a substitute, and often it's the closest man. This ricochet effect explains why men often bear the brunt of emotions they didn't cause and don't understand, trapped in storms that began long before they arrived. Modern studies now support what Freud only guessed. A woman's personality can shift dramatically with her menstrual cycle. During ovulation, she becomes flirtatious, risk-seeking, drawn to dominant masculine traits. During menstruation, she grows more critical, more irritable, and hypersensitive to perceived slights. The shocking part? She doesn't know this is happening. Ask her why she suddenly lost interest and she'll invent reasons. The truth? Her biology quietly vetoed you without her conscious consent. In ancient Sparta, husbands were forbidden from sleeping with their wives during menstruation. The Spartans weren't superstitious and they understood biology. A bleeding woman, they believed, carried heightened hostility and unpredictable emotions. They didn't blame her for it, they simply managed it. Freud's insight mirrors this ancient wisdom. If men understood female biology instead of fighting it, they'd suffer less heartbreak, confusion, and resentment when emotions shift without warning. Freud's most brutal conclusion was this: a woman's love is rarely unconditional. Even the most devoted mother subconsciously resents her son for one unavoidable reason: he will one day leave her. This awareness creates a deep-rooted fear of abandonment, shaping female psychology from childhood. To cope, many women develop one powerful survival strategy: extract maximum emotional and material resources while maintaining deniability. It isn't cruelty. It's programming designed to ensure survival. Take the wife who suddenly falls out of love after 10 years of marriage. She didn't truly change overnight. Her unconscious secured what it needed: stability, children, protection, and then sought novelty once her goals were met. Or the girlfriend who constantly picks small fights and tests your boundaries. She isn't crazy. Her biology is stress testing your strength. Fail these tests too often, and her instincts quietly flag you as unfit to lead. In Civilization and Its Discontents, Freud argued that women are by nature enemies of civilization. Not because they're malicious, but because their loyalty isn't to principles, it's to survival. While men are often driven to build, create, and establish, women are wired to consume, select, and adapt. It's not morality, it's instinct. For thousands of years, this biological strategy ensured the continuation of the species, even if it causes chaos in modern relationships. Every man has seen the same cycle, whether he realizes it or not. Phase 1. Idealization. She mirrors your interests, laughs at your jokes, makes you feel chosen. Phase 2. Testing. She withdraws affection, questions your strength, and provokes small conflicts. Phase 3. Discard. She turns cold, distant, and detached. Freud argued this isn't random. It's evolutionary instinct, a survival mechanism forged over thousands of years in hunter-gatherer tribes. Back then, women evolved to secure resources and protection from the strongest, most capable men. But attraction didn't stop there. They also sought novelty, the thrill of hidden genetic variety. This is why a woman can seem deeply in love with one man while secretly fantasizing about another. It isn't immorality, it's biology. Freud believed these unconscious instincts still drive modern dating dynamics. Even when society teaches us to ignore them, it happens to every man eventually. You meet her and she seems different. She reads philosophy, mocks shallow behavior, claims to hate meaningless games. She promises depth, loyalty, and stability. You let your guard down, you trust her, and then one day something shifts. The warmth vanishes, her eyes turn cold. Her words feel rehearsed. It's not you, it's me. But Freud would say it is you, because you assumed she controlled her own desires. Modern society sells a dangerous illusion that education, feminism, and self-awareness have freed women from their biological instincts. Freud would laugh at this. In Beyond the Pleasure Principle, he revealed that human behavior is driven far less by intellect than by primal drives, survival, reproduction, and dominance. In 1920, Freud analyzed a brilliant female academic who despised traditional gender roles. She married a supportive, gentle husband who gave her full independence. But then she had an affair. Not with a fellow intellectual, but with a rough, uneducated laborer who canceled plans, ignored her opinions, and treated her as an afterthought. When Freud confronted her, she broke down crying, "I don't know why I want him. I hate that I want him." The lesson? No amount of modern conditioning overrides millions of years of instinct. A woman may rationalize wanting a modern relationship, but her biology responds to something older and darker: dominance, unpredictability, and strength. Freud discovered that women live with dual desires constantly at war: the social self that seeks safety and approval, and the primal self that craves raw, unfiltered passion. Most women never consciously reconcile this internal conflict. Freud's most controversial idea was that women don't have one sexuality. They have two. The first is the Madonna, nurturing, loving, respectable, and socially approved. The second is the animal, primal, amoral, and hidden from public view. This explains why the quiet librarian writes explicit anonymous erotica, why the activist fighting patriarchy secretly desires dominance, and why the loyal girlfriend sometimes fantasizes about betrayal. These contradictions aren't hypocrisy, they're nature. Victorian England provides a perfect example. Public morality demanded extreme sexual repression, yet brothels flourished more than ever. When female desire is forbidden, it doesn't disappear. It mutates, seeking secret outlets. Freud believed repression only drives instincts deeper into the unconscious, making them even more powerful and uncontrollable. The more society denies these biological truths, the stronger their hidden influence becomes in shaping modern relationships and emotional chaos. Every man has met her, the woman who had that one guy she can't forget. Maybe he was a criminal. Maybe he treated her terribly, but no stable, kind, dependable man ever compared. Freud called this the trauma bond. Women don't fall in love with the men who hurt them. They become addicted to the chemical chaos of uncertainty, pain, and intermittent rewards. Stability feels safe, but chaos feels unforgettable. Imagine a successful, stable man dating a 32-year-old lawyer who once loved a reckless criminal. He gives her everything she says she wants: kindness, security, consistency. Yet she grows restless. She breaks up saying, "I just don't feel a spark." The truth: calm doesn't trigger dopamine. Predictability doesn't ignite obsession. Her addiction wasn't to the man who hurt her. It was to the emotional roller coaster he represented. Biology rewards chaos over comfort. Freud never used the term dark triad, but he described it perfectly. Women are naturally drawn to men who display narcissism, unshakable self-belief, Machiavellianism, strategic manipulation, and psychopathy, emotional detachment. Evolution selected these traits because in prehistoric times these men led tribes, conquered rivals, and ensured survival. Studies confirm modern women rate dark triad men as more attractive for short-term flings, even when they consciously claim to want the opposite. But here's the paradox no one talks about. Women don't always like this part of themselves. The same instincts that draw them toward dominance, unpredictability, and chaos also create guilt, shame, and self-conflict. Freud believed much of female anxiety comes from fighting their own biology. A woman can say she wants stability, but feel restless when she gets it. This inner war between logic and instinct creates emotional volatility men rarely understand. There's a moment every man remembers: the day he realizes the woman he loves is two people. One side is warm, caring, affectionate, and deeply human. The other is something older, primal, cold, and instinct-driven. You've seen flashes of it before. The sudden sharpness in her voice when disappointed, the coldness in her eyes when you lose her respect, the ease with which she replaces you, as though you never existed. Freud called this the uncanny, the terror of seeing something familiar become alien. It's not that she hides her second self from you, she hides it from herself. Women are at war with their instincts, and men often become collateral damage. Society teaches them they are noble, evolved, and morally superior, yet their unconscious desires crave dominance, passion, and emotional chaos. This contradiction shapes nearly every modern relationship dynamic. Freud's student Helene Deutsch once analyzed a radical feminist who publicly condemned male oppression. Yet she married a controlling husband who forbade her from publishing her work. In therapy, she confessed, "I hate that I need his rules, but when he's firm with me, I feel peace." Freud used this case to illustrate a brutal truth. A woman's conscious mind may want equality, but her unconscious craves hierarchy. Ignoring this leads to endless relational conflict. Freud also observed a strange paradox in female sexuality. The chaste woman often fantasizes about surrendering control, while the promiscuous woman obsesses over being claimed and possessed. This contradiction isn't hypocrisy, it's biology. Publicly, women seek to be seen as good by society. Privately, their desires often lean toward the forbidden. The more society represses these instincts, the more they express themselves through dreams, fantasies, and unconscious behavior she can't explain. In the 1950s, Alfred Kinsey's groundbreaking research revealed that over 62% of women admitted to fantasies involving dominance and surrender, not because they desired violence, but because they craved the freedom of letting go. Freud called this disavowal, the ability to deny one's true desires while secretly seeking situations that fulfill them. Ask her what she wants and she'll give you a socially acceptable list. Watch her choices, they'll tell you the truth. Here lies the unspoken fear behind many female behaviors. If you see the real me, you will leave. This fear drives tests, emotional push-pull cycles, and self-sabotage. She challenges your strength not because she hates you, but because she wants to know if you can handle all her contradictions without collapsing. When she lies, it's rarely malicious. She lies to protect her self-image. When she withdraws, it's often her unconscious defending against rejection. Freud's most heartbreaking insight was this: women often punish men for loving them too much. When a man accepts her fully, her flaws, contradictions, and darkness, she can no longer blame him for her unhappiness. And for many, that loss of control feels unbearable. This is why the nice guy so often loses. His devotion removes the very tension that fuels her desire. Stability soothes her mind but fails to ignite her instincts. So is there any way for a man to win? Freud hinted at a forbidden solution he never dared publish openly. First, withdraw before she does. Indifference creates gravity. Neediness repels. Second, master the power of the unsaid. Mystery fuels attraction, over-explaining kills it. Third, recognize her shadow self without judgment. When she tests, lies, or lashes out, respond with calm strength, not panic. You don't control her biology, but you can control yourself. In the end, this series isn't about manipulating women, it's about understanding them. Most men lose because they play by rules that were designed to break them. Freud's final lesson: stop expecting fairness from a system built on survival instincts. Women aren't villains and men aren't victims. But if you ignore the unconscious forces driving desire, heartbreak is inevitable. The only way to win is to stop playing their game and start playing yours.